No, say goodbye. Bye.
All right.
Alright guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez.
Yep.
I'm coming at you guys with a
It's mine. It's my money.
Pokemon sales data video. Now, there is a lot to go over today, so I'm going to be quick with this. Yellow Cheeks Pikachu, this is a bunch of base set right here. Yellow Cheeks Pikachu, first edition PSA 10, sold for $7,800. Bulbasaur, first edition PSA 10, sold for $6,400. This was literally $3,000 2 weeks ago. Squirtle, first edition PSA 10, sold for $4,000. Charmander, first edition PSA 10, sold for $3,800. I don't know how Charmander, as the most popular starter, I love Bulbasaur, but granted, Charmander's the most popular starter, got the least out of all of them at $3,800. Dratini, first edition PSA 10, sold for $1,700. Electabuzz, first edition PSA 10, sold for $1,500. These are all first edition PSA 10, so I'll just keep going. Magmar, $720. Porygon, $660. Dugong, $575. Onix, $550. Voltorb, $513. Mewtwo, first edition PSA 8. I'm sorry, PSA 9. 2 sales. Both of them are $8,000. Venusaur, first edition PSA 9. This one got scooped up in a second. $6,000. Because there's already one on auction at $11,000 at PWCC. So whoever put it up for $6,000 just like did not check. I did not check anything because it sold literally in 2 seconds. Gyarados, first edition PSA 9. 3 of them. $6,300, $6,300, and $6,500. Red Cheeks Pikachu, first edition PSA 9, sold for $3,000. Squirtle, first edition PSA 9, sold for $1,500. Charmander, first edition PSA 9, sold for $1,300. Haunter, first edition PSA 9, sold for $530. Dratini, first edition PSA 9, sold for $375. Nidorino, first edition PSA 9, sold for $150. Blaine's Charizard. All right, a little bit of news on this. A first edition PSA 7 was sold or was listed at $1,000, sold inside of 2 hours. That is very undervalued, I think. Well, I think the 10 is undervalued. There's some news on this, right? We have a by the way, we have a first edition PSA 9 that sold for $2,850, but that seems a little low. Why is it low? Because the person that sold it, that had it listed for auction, had 50%, like 50% feedback. He only had 2 things. One was positive, one was negative. And the one negative, it was like a seller saying like, all right, seller did not communicate, $20,000 item, didn't send it, not communicating. Like, oh my God. So the fact that anyone bid on that is freaking ridiculous. But outside of that, we have the guy I was talking to on Instagram, later out, was saying that he had found the guy in Hawaii, and the guy in Hawaii had an offer of $9,800, and he also had another offer for $5,500 and cash, and then another $5,500 trade-in. So that's something that the guy on Instagram is probably going to get it for about $10,000. I wouldn't sell it for $10,000. Maybe at 12 I would have, because that would have helped pay for the Trophy Kangaskhan. Speaking of Trophy Kangaskhan, I still might get it. It depends on other things. I sold my Tesla stock, but it's going to take until Monday for it to settle. So I have to wire it to myself on Monday. It's like a $25 wire fee, which is fine. I have to write a loan to myself from one business to the other, write a check, cash it, and then hopefully it clears in 2 days, that by the time Wednesday appears, I'm still able to pay for it. It's insane. Either that, or I put them in a buy thread on E4, Blastoise first edition PSA 10 for $45,000, because last one sold for $40,000. So I was like, all right, 10, 11% increase, I'll do that. But the ones that are on eBay, the cheapest is like $80,000, and it's not even a strong 10. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, so that's some news on that. All right, just reading here. For Alligator, first edition PSA 9, number 5. This is from a Probstein auction. Only had one photo of the front, but number 5 is the one that's harder to grade. It's rarer. It's harder to find. Sold for $945. So almost told you it was worth $1,000. Told you. Dark Dragonite, first edition PSA 9, sold for $1155. Dark Raichu, first edition PSA 9, sold for $625. Nidoqueen, first edition PSA 9, sold for $351. Gengar, first edition PSA 9, sold for $551. Kingdra, first edition PSA 7, sold for $775. Raichu from the Fossil set, first edition PSA 9, sold for $305. Moltres, first edition PSA 9, sold for $507. Hitmonlee, first edition PSA 9, sold for $449. Jumping over to Gym Challenge, Erica's Venusaur, first edition PSA 7, sold for $260. A Ditto from the Fossil set, first edition PSA 9, sold for $515. Record price point for that card by a long shot. Aerodactyl first edition PSA 9 sold for $320. Articuno first edition PSA 9 sold for $470. We had a Charizard first edition PSA 8. The top 5 bids were 22,1, 27.2, 27.2, 28,000, and the winning bid was $28,100 for a first edition PSA 8 Charizard. Oh, just reading here. Okay, T17 first edition PSA 8 was listed for $1,000. It was gone inside of 12 hours. Then we had a pre-release Aerodactyl first edition PSA 10 sold for $1,671. The rest of these are going to be Fossil. Zapdos first edition PSA 9 sold for $600. Moltres first edition PSA 9 sold for $600. Articuno first edition PSA 8 sold for $325. Omastar first edition PSA 10 sold for $200. Haunter first edition PSA 9, the non-holo, sold for $140. Magmar first edition PSA 9 sold for $75. Moltres first edition PSA 9, another one, but this sold for $647, so 47 points higher. Articuno first edition PSA 10, an unlimited version. Articuno PSA 10 unlimited holo, sold for $2,050. Unlimited is not something that I've really kept up with. Maybe I might start having to. Aerodactyl first edition PSA 7, it's a pre-release, sold for $130. Magneton first edition PSA 10 non-holo, sold for $205. Aerodactyl first edition PSA 9, sold for $350. Mr. Fuji first edition PSA 10, sold for $121 plus $25 shipping. It was from Australia. And a Dragonite first edition PSA 9 sold for 2 of them. Then they were non-holos, $360 and $350 for 9s. It's incredible. Some news that I had: I sold a Koga's Tangela for like $65, and then I sold a Misty's Golduck first edition PSA 9, sold for $500. Those are my 2 sales for the day. And again, I also bought because I saw this Ditto first edition PSA 9 sell for $515. I saw someone selling theirs for $300. I was like, done, bought it. So as soon as I get that, maybe I'll put it up for $5. Maybe I'll wait a little bit. I don't know. That's it for today, guys. I love you. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I'm stressing so much about this Trophy Kangaskhan thing. Because I might not even get it. The current bid is $70,700 or $71,000, something like that. And there's still 5 days left. You know, the Charizards I might get first edition BGS 9. It's at $45,000. Like I said, I'd rather get the Blastoise first edition PSA 10 because there's less than 100 of those versus the Charizard BGS 9. Because a lot of people just think BGS 9. But there's 2 on auction right now. There's a BGS 9 and a PSA 9. And the BGS 9 looks much, much better. So I would rather go with the BGS 9, even though it's worth less. But either way, that's just my thing. Guys, I'm out. I'll talk to y'all later. I love you. Goodbye. Meow.